Hey everyone, in today's video I'll be sharing with you a what I spend in a week. Every week is different, just with different things and different outings and things, so this week was a little bit different just with a birthday kind of gift that was at the end of the week, but overall this is a pretty good realistic what I spend in a week. So without further ado, let's get started. Before we break down what I spent this week, it's important to look at what my mandatory expenses are. My mandatory monthly expenses are bills or payments that I have to make every single month. So first up, I have my laser hair removal, which is $474 a month. I try to put down $3,000 towards my student loan payments. I pay $40 every month for my car wash subscription, $96 for my life insurance policy, and $27 towards subscriptions such as Hulu and iCloud storage. This leads to a monthly total of $3,637 or $909.25 per week. Now let's move on to my spending. Starting out with Monday, as always when I go into work, I like to treat myself for an iced tea at Dunkin'. It is my little treat when I have to go into work so early, and this came to $2.79. Moving on to Tuesday, this was another in-office day, so as always I treated myself to an iced tea at Dunkin', which came to $2.79. I then utilized my free car wash, which was part of my membership, which included my monthly fee, and then I also stopped for gas as well, since this was my last in-office day, which came to $17.23. I also made a quick stop to the grocery store to pick up some things for breakfast that we needed for the week, which came to $12.48. This was just a quick grocery shop, as I will do one later on in the week. So this came to a daily total of $32.05. My next spending day wasn't until Thursday, and this is where I did my remainder of the groceries that we needed for next week, in addition to a Michael's order as well, since I had a $5 voucher. So I went to Michael's to pick up this stamp that I needed, like an ink pad stamp, which I use for my books to stamp them after I finish reading. And with my voucher, this came to 20 cents. And on my way home from Michael's, I picked up my online order at Target for the groceries for next week, which came to $62.81. This made my Thursday daily total $63.01. Finally, my last spending day was Saturday, and every month we kind of have to go through Willow's bones that she eats through, just because they can be dangerous once they get to a certain point. So she is a mega chewer, so I did a Amazon order to order new ones, which came to $99.45. So Willow will be happy to have some new Bones in the future. We then went into town for my husband's birthday present, so we stopped by our coffee shop to get a cinnamon roll and a chai latte, which came to $16.20. We stopped by the bookstore, and I wanted to pick up this copy of a book that I read from the library that I wanted to get a physical copy of. So my husband ended up getting some books as well, and he paid for this purchase for us, so which was nice. And then we stopped by the grocery store to get some seltzers, which came to $4.73. And my husband's birthday present was to do a glass blowing experience, which was really a lot of fun. I've never done it before, and it was a good kind of experience gift, which we really ended up enjoying. I'll show you a picture of our pumpkins that we made. This was pretty pricey, and for the two pumpkins it was $160.68. This led to a daily total of $281.06. So overall this week I spent $379.36, and when we adjust this to include my mandatorily weekly expenses, this comes to $1,288.61. In tracking my spending, it's always interesting to see where my money is going. So when I created this flowchart, you can see that most of my kind of budget and spending goes towards those mandatory expenses. A lot of it is because I've been really aggressive with my student loans. I really want to finish paying them off before we have kids. So I'm on track to finish it kind of this fall, which is really exciting. But when we look at and when we adjust the kind of chart to, you know, eliminate the mandatory expenses, we can see that most of my spending is spent on, you know, groceries, Willow, and then the gift. The gift for the birthday gift obviously is not every time, but I wanted to treat my husband to a nice experience. So usually we don't really do these things all the time, so it's nice to kind of, you know, plan ahead for that. But it was a really fun experience. But kind of next, if we adjust that, we can see once a month with Willow, just with her toys, she goes through them so fast, so that makes you know sense. You know, we want to keep her happy and have all the things that she needs. And next is groceries, which I think is pretty standard. I feel like I don't really spend a lot on monetary things. I'll buy a book here or there for the most part, but for the most part I spend more money on Willow, and most of my money goes towards groceries. So I feel like this, minus the birthday present, is pretty accurate on what my typical spending looks like. So let me know if you guys want to see more of these types of videos in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.